And we also create digital twins of real people. So left is the real guy, right is his digital twin. So the great thing is that you can also use it for influencers, models, famous people, celebrities. And the nice thing is for models, for instance, that there's no expiration date. So Heidi is now 50, something like that, over 50, but she can still monetize her younger self because of GenAI. There's no age limitation, generative AI, as long as you have the data of her when she was young. Same goes for Naomi Campbell. But this is interesting actually because it means you can use local influencers like Nigerian influencers or Nigerian celebrities and recreate that person in a synthetic way without that person's busy schedule, busy, without that person actually having to come to you and do a photo shoot with you. Because that is going to be the most bothersome thing for them. They don't have the time, and now they can do it, and you can create something for them without them having to be present. And we also create mixed media solutions. So we combine a picture of a garment, so this is a t-shirt. We create a synthetic model, the one below, that's a synthetic model. And in the snap of an instant, we can combine those two and make him wear it. There's no Photoshop involved, it was just input image, output image. And we can, for an activation, we can recreate existing photography of a store or a campaign materials. So that's also interesting to know because it means you can reuse old content. If you have old content from a brand, they don't have the money to reshoot it, then you can use old content and recreate something very nice. And this is, so you see the furniture change. So the first one was the synthetic option, and this is real furniture, 3D model of real furniture. And we also create AI video. So if you think about it, that nothing in this production is actually real, like shot or produced in a traditional way, it's kind of mind-blowing, even still for me. So this is a story of a guy living in a city, wanting to escape the city. Actually a guy born out of a mosaic wall, yeah, it's very crazy. But you can do it. It's like, your imagination, there's no limit to it. I mean, so there are a few things that are very, it is a big win in Gen AI creation. And one of them is VFX. This means like creating visual effects, because visual effects is a very expensive kind of production. So if you create visual effects in your, like the person turning with the tiles, with the mosaic tiles, you create a very high value to your product, to your production. So that's interesting. And CGI, so computer generated images. For instance, the one with the Euphoria one, the beauty one with the flowers. That would have been done in CGI, and that's also a very expensive way of producing. So what's the problem with Gen AI? This is the last part. Hope you're still concentrated. So this is the prediction. By 2025, 90% of all online content will be partially or completely AI generated. So that's crazy, right? That's a lot. So ports will be, so it can be from I use ChatGPT to optimize the text or translate it for me to a full AI production. So it can be anywhere in between. The problem with this is that the tools are biased. The tools are trained on Eurocentric data. That's first of all, I think that's important for you to know. Eurocentric data and non-exclusive data. Because inclusivity and representation, for instance, for people with a disability, diverse group of people, was only done in the last 5 to 10 years of content creation in the West. So now the tools have been trained on 35 years or more on content creation. So the bulk of the content is not going to be inclusive. So when you prompt something, the chances are bigger that it's not going to be inclusive, it's not going to be diverse, than that it is. So what we do is that when we notice that, we prompt against it. So we see, okay, it's not inclusive, it's not going to be, for instance, African-centric. Then we redefine the prompt and make sure that it is. And this is a very important thing because these tools, they train themselves on the content they generated. So for instance, if somebody generates a non-exclusive output, for instance, I want an image of a doctor, right? That's the prompt. Image, like, doctor in a hospital. Then it's going to, like, the chances are big that it's going to be a white male in a hospital that's being prompted. Then the tool thinks, okay, of every, like, 10 times I prompted a doctor, 8 of them were white males. So it's going to think, okay, doctors are probably white males. So it's going to train itself on the biased output that it generated. So it's going to be a snowball effect of being less accurate and less diverse over time. So it's very important, actually, that we all do this. For us, it's important from an inclusivity perspective. So I have a daughter in a wheelchair. So for me, it's very important that people are represented in the wheelchair in a nice way, not in a sad way, but in a nice way, optimistic way. And I think for you, as African creators and African professionals, I think it's important to know that try to prompt against the Eurocentric bias, because it's just going to have like this image of an African community that's not real, that you don't experience in the same way. So this was a challenge we made our creators do. So the challenge was prompt against the bias. So this is what they made. These are cool. We also try to be, so some inclusivity is very hard with AI. For instance, this is a trans model. So she used to be a boy, and now she's a girl, transsexual model, transgender, sorry. So this is my last slide, and I just want to, I hope this is clear, and I hope you are with me on this, that I really hope you as the African community, Nigerian community, help us fighting this bias, so that we know that you will feed these tools with your stories, your Nigerian perspectives, your African perspectives, so that we in the West don't assume that something is like it is here and we know nothing about it. But you can tell those stories for us. So you have to feed these tools with your knowledge and your expertise. And it's very important also it's for the whole world important, especially for us in the West, I think. I'm going to end with a small gift. So if you have your phone, would you maybe can make a picture of this slide? Because it involves some discount codes to get you started. I hope you can read it. We will also send it later and we will give a handout, but I think it might be good to take a picture. So to get you started, these are 3 tools who have been sponsoring the event, which we're really thankful for. Thank you, Let's AI, Pimento, and Hyper. Thank you. And I think Hyper is a good way to start because it's a multimodal tool that has image generation, video generation, text to video, text to image. And that might be a good start because it has it all and it offers a pro membership for free for a month. So I hope this helps you get started. I'm really excited to see what you'll be creating the upcoming days. And this was my presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chrissie Cremers.